Picture this: you're on a deserted road, the wind's picking up, and suddenly you hear it. A thud, a crash, or maybe just a whisper in the darkness. But when you turn, there's no one around. Or is there? Across North America, there are creatures lurking in the shadows, half man, half beast. Creatures so strange they've haunted our cities and towns for decades. From the terrifying goatman of Maryland to the elusive lizard man prowling the swamps of South Carolina, these cryptids are more than just stories. So buckle up tonight. We're bringing you face to face with 5 of the most bizarre, blood-chilling cryptids hiding in plain sight. The goatman is one of the most infamous urban cryptids, terrorizing rural roads, bridges, and wooded areas. There are 2 versions of the goatman legend, one in Maryland and one in Texas, but both share a common theme: a half-man, half-goat creature wielding an axe and preying on unsuspecting travelers. In Maryland, the goatman is said to haunt the Governor's Bridge near Bowie. According to local lore, he was once a scientist conducting animal experiments, but after a freak accident, he mutated into the goatman. Some say he now roams the area, attacking cars and scaring off those brave enough to cross the bridge at night. In Texas, the legend takes a more sinister turn. The old Alton Bridge, also known as Goatman's Bridge, is said to be cursed. People claim that if you cross the bridge at night and call out Goatman, the creature will appear and drag you into the woods. The bridge itself has a dark history of disappearances and strange occurrences, with paranormal investigators frequently visiting the area to catch a glimpse of this elusive cryptid. In Texas, the old Alton Bridge is now a hotspot for ghost hunters and thrill seekers. They say that calling out Goatman 3 times can summon the creature, but those who have tried report eerie sounds and shadowy figures, not to mention strange, unexplainable car malfunctions. The goatman has left a lasting imprint on local folklore, inspiring ghost stories, documentaries, and urban exploration. Is he just a scary story passed down through generations? Or is there something more to the legend? One thing's for sure: no one is eager to find out firsthand. The Loveland Frogmen are a group of amphibian-like creatures said to inhabit the area around Loveland, Ohio. Their legend dates back to 1955, when a local man reported seeing 3 frog-like beings standing by the side of the road. According to his account, these creatures were about 3 to 4 feet tall, walked upright like humans, and had leathery skin and webbed feet. Their large, glowing eyes and croaking sounds left the witness in a state of shock. While the 1955 sighting was eerie enough, it wasn't until 1972 that the legend really gained traction. A police officer patrolling near the Little Miami River reported seeing a strange figure crouching by the road. As he approached, the creature stood up, looked directly at him, and then leapt over the guardrail into the river. The officer described it as having frog-like features but walking upright on 2 legs. This encounter led to widespread media coverage and cemented the Loveland Frogmen's place in local folklore. The Loveland Frogmen haven't been sighted often since, but they remain a source of fascination for cryptid hunters and the local community. The story has been retold so many times that it's hard to separate fact from fiction. In 2016, while playing Pokémon Go near the banks of the Little Miami River, a local couple claimed to have spotted a frog-like creature standing upright near the water. This sighting revived interest in the Loveland Frogmen, with some speculating it could have been the same creature from the 1970s. So, are the Loveland Frogmen simply misunderstood creatures living in the shadows, or are they just the result of wild imaginations? No matter what you believe, the legend has become a key part of Ohio's urban cryptid lore. Bigfoot, one of the most iconic cryptids, has primarily been associated with remote forests and wilderness areas. But recent reports suggest that these massive, hairy creatures might be venturing closer to urban environments. While the general public is more familiar with sightings from deep in the Pacific Northwest, what surprises many is that people living on the fringes of cities in the US and Canada are increasingly reporting encounters with something large, mysterious, and undeniably Bigfoot-like. In places like Portland, Seattle, Oregon, and Washington, sightings of Bigfoot near urban areas are becoming more frequent. These cities are surrounded by dense forests, which offer plenty of natural cover and food for a creature like Bigfoot. One of the most famous encounters happened just outside Portland, where a woman reported hearing strange, deep vocalizations at night. When she looked out her window, she saw a tall, hairy figure rummaging through her backyard. This wasn't just a fleeting glimpse, she described it in detail, noting its long arms, towering height, and ape-like movements. In the suburbs of San Francisco, particularly near Mount Tamalpais, there have been multiple reports of large creatures wandering close to homes and hiking trails. One witness claimed to have seen a large, bipedal figure crossing a road just after dusk. This area, rich in hiking paths and close to the city, seems to be a natural bridge between human settlements and wild areas where Bigfoot is traditionally believed to reside. What's leading to these urban encounters? Some researchers suggest that increasing urban sprawl is pushing creatures like Bigfoot into smaller and smaller habitats. With forests being cleared and humans expanding into areas that were once isolated, Bigfoot might be forced to adapt, coming closer to urban environments in search of food and shelter. Others believe it's a result of food scarcity in traditional wilderness areas. Deforestation, climate change, and human activity could be driving these creatures toward the outskirts of cities, scavenging for food in human spaces like garbage dumps or suburban yards. There's also speculation that urban Bigfoot sightings may be seasonal. As temperatures drop in the fall and winter, it's possible that Bigfoot moves closer to human habitation for warmth or access to easier food sources. It could also be that younger, more curious Bigfoots, those still learning survival tactics, are more likely to venture close to human settlements, drawn by the lure of easy meals or curiosity. Of course, not everyone buys into the idea of urban Bigfoot sightings. Skeptics argue that most of these encounters could be explained as misidentifications, possibly large bears, people in costumes, or even hoaxes designed to attract attention. Some urban sightings have been linked to local Halloween pranks or tall tales passed down through generations. In fact, some urban areas, especially near Portland, host annual Bigfoot-themed events that draw enthusiasts looking for any excuse to spot the creature, which may add to the likelihood of false sightings. However, eyewitnesses swear by their accounts, often describing the creature's behavior as too intelligent and distinct to be a bear or human in disguise. There's also the audio evidence, strange howls, grunts, and tree knocks reported near these urban environments, many of which match recordings from more remote areas. Cryptozoologists and enthusiasts argue that dismissing these sightings too quickly ignores the possibility that a large, undiscovered primate might be learning to navigate human spaces as their natural habitat dwindles. Some researchers propose that urban Bigfoot sightings could be tied to younger, more adventurous Sasquatches. They might be more willing to explore and take risks than older, more cautious members of the species, which is why these sightings tend to occur closer to human activity. Whether they're real encounters or just overactive imaginations, urban Bigfoot sightings continue to captivate the public. The idea of such a legendary creature roaming the outskirts of major cities blurs the line between myth and reality, and it keeps people scanning the tree line just a little more carefully when the sun goes down. Before we move on, we want to hear from you. Which cryptid would you want to encounter or run far away from? Have you experienced anything strange yourself? Drop your stories in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when we unleash the next batch of nightmare fuel. The lizard man of Scape Ore Swamp is one of the most bizarre and terrifying cryptids in the United States. First reported in 1988, this creature is said to inhabit the swampy areas near Lee County, South Carolina. Descriptions of the lizard man paint a terrifying picture standing over 7 feet tall, with green, scaly skin, long claws, and glowing red eyes. The lizard man is often compared to an oversized humanoid reptile. The creature's movements are said to be swift and aggressive, and it has even been reported to attack vehicles. The legend began with a now famous encounter from Christopher Davis, a 17-year-old who was driving home late at night when his car got a flat tire near Scape Ore Swamp. As Davis changed the tire, he heard a noise and turned to see a massive, reptilian creature running toward him. Davis managed to jump into his car just as the creature attacked, clawing at the roof and leaving deep scratches. Terrified, Davis sped off, but the encounter left him shaken and marked the beginning of the Lizard Man legend. Following Davis' encounter, other residents of Lee County began reporting similar sightings. Some claimed to have seen the Lizard Man swimming through the swamp, while others found strange footprints and claw marks on their property. The local police even got involved, casting plaster molds of large, three-toed footprints found near the swamp. In 2011, a local couple reported that their car had been mauled, with deep scratches and bite marks similar to those found on Christopher Davis's car back in 1988. Some believe this incident is proof that the Lizard Man had returned after years of inactivity. The Lizard Man legend has since become a key part of South Carolina folklore. Despite numerous investigations, no conclusive evidence has ever been found to prove the creature's existence. But that hasn't stopped cryptid enthusiasts from continuing the hunt. Could it be a real creature lurking in the shadows of the swamp, or just a figment of local imagination? The Dover Demon is a cryptid that made headlines in the spring of 1977 after a series of eerie sightings in the small town of Dover, Massachusetts. The creature is described as being small and humanoid, with a large watermelon-shaped head, glowing orange eyes, and thin, spindly limbs. Its skin was said to be grayish or peach-colored, and its overall appearance was distinctly alien, leading many to speculate that the Dover Demon might not be of this world. The first sighting occurred on the night of April 21, 1977, when 17-year-old Bill Bartlett was driving with his friends. As they passed along a quiet stretch of road, Bartlett spotted the creature clinging to a stone wall. He described it as having large, bulbous eyes that reflected in his car's headlights. The Dover Demon stared at him for a moment before scurrying away into the darkness. Bartlett, shaken by what he had seen, immediately told his friends, but they had been looking the other way and missed the encounter. In the next 24 hours, 2 more witnesses came forward with similar reports. A local teenager named John Baxter reported seeing the creature near a wooded area as he walked home. Baxter described the creature as moving on all fours, though it could also stand upright. The third sighting came from Abby Brabham, who reported seeing a small, thin creature with glowing eyes standing by the roadside. Despite the multiple sightings, the Dover Demon has never been seen again after that brief period in 1977, adding to its mystery and making it a one-time phenomenon in the world of cryptids. Some believe it was an extraterrestrial being, possibly a visitor from another planet. Others think it could have been a misidentified animal, such as a baby moose or an escaped pet. Whatever the case, the Dover Demon has become a staple of Massachusetts folklore, and its brief yet intense string of sightings continues to puzzle both skeptics and believers. And that's just the beginning. These cryptids may seem like legends, but for those who've crossed paths with them, the fear is very real. From the goatmen stalking bridges to the Loveland frogmen lurking by the riverside, these creatures are out there, hidden in the dark corners of our cities, waiting to be discovered. But the mystery doesn't stop here. In the next episode, we'll be uncovering even more cryptids that might be lurking right outside your door. Think you've heard it all? Just wait until we dive into the stories of the Bunnymen or the spine-chilling beast of Bray Road. But before we move on, we want to hear from you. Which cryptid would you want to encounter or run far away from? Have you experienced anything strange yourself? Drop your stories in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, so you're the first to know when we unleash the next batch of nightmare fuel. Until then, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember they could be watching.